Tomorrow we celebrate commencement for all our graduates who have successfully earned their degrees. We will celebrate differently because of COVID-19. In these last 3 months, we've witnessed a rapid and effective response to the coronavirus. In this past week, we've been exposed again to a much more dangerous, divisive, and life-threatening pandemic of racism that reminds us that it is present in our culture today. In response to this senseless murder of George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, and Breonna Taylor, we penned a response Monday meant to condemn injustice. I've been told this week by members of our community that our words were not adequate, and I want to correct that and apologize for it. Although I do not pretend to know personally the depth of pain, anger, and fear you experience, I want you to know that I love you, and I'm committed to showing that love in tangible ways. This week, as I've reflected on these injustices and the evidence they expose as to the ongoing challenge our culture has with racism, let me clearly communicate that my concern is for you, our Black students, faculty, staff, board, and friends. As we transition in name to Bushnell University this July in honor of a man who was in the 1860s an avowed abolitionist, we will continue to be a community of faith and learning that does not condone racism in any form. As I shoulder the responsibility of leadership here, that includes our institutional responses to injustice in any form. I fear my words are insufficient, so I won't rely on them, but lean into the Word of God, specifically here through the pen of the Apostle John, as love is being defined and described for us by God. 1 John 4 says, "Beloved, let us love one another, for love is from God. And whoever loves has been born of God and knows God. Anyone who does not love doesn't know God, because God is love. If God so loved us, we also ought to love one another. No one has ever seen God. If we love one another, God abides in us, and His love is perfected in us." So the hard question is, how are we doing? How well are we loving each other? How well are we loving our family members of color? We've all been witness to this global response to the corona pandemic in quick and effective ways to keep people safe. Now we must address the pandemic of racism in the same manner and with the same goal, to ensure all are safe and protected and free to chase after God's call in our lives. As a campus, we convened a working group to rapidly respond to the challenges of COVID-19. In like manner, I will personally call upon campus leadership, students, our board of trustees, and seek the wisdom and experience of leaders of color in our community to better understand and act that we might love better. As this effort plays out this coming summer and fall, I'll be sure to communicate to our campus community as to our progress. Love is an unwavering, enduring commitment from a willing heart to give oneself without consideration for the extent of the cost. God has demonstrated this love for us through Jesus coming to this earth and giving Himself for us. The radical display of amazing love from God is supposed to move us to love one another. In fact, loving others is our purpose. If God so loved us, we also ought to love one another. Love, as defined and described by God, isn't easy. If we're trying to do this well, as God says, then we are experiencing a battle. We're experiencing a conflict between the love of self and the love of God. Listen again to what John says in 1 John chapter 4. We love because He first loved us. If anyone says, "I love God," and hates his brother, he's a liar, for he does not love his brother whom he has seen. He cannot love God whom he has not seen. And this commandment we have from Him: whoever loves God must also love his brother. We can and must do better. Be better at the act of expressing that love to one another, and especially right now, expressing that love to our Black brothers and sisters. Let me finish by saying this: I must do better. As a man, a president, a husband, father, and friend, to show how I love you, care for you, and am concerned that you are free and safe to pursue wisdom, faith, and service at this university.